How many teams from the Big Ten will be in the NCAA tournament? All right, so if you go by the net rankings, I have them right here on the side. The Big 12 currently has the most projected teams with 10. The Big Ten has only 5, even though they have the second highest average net amongst their teams, which is weird to me. You would think, having that high of a net average, you'd have more, but that's just the way it goes. The SEC has 7, ACC has 5, the Big East has 4, Pac-12 has 3, and then the Mountain West, stupid Mountain West. I can't stand the Mountain West. They have 6 projected right now, even though their average net rating is outside 100 because they just have a whole bunch of cupcakes that you beat up on. They apparently have 6. So, Kid, do you agree with this, that it's going to be 5 teams? I can tell you the 5 really fast as I pull it up on my iPad. It is Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Nebraska. They are saying that Northwestern will be left out. What do you think?
No, I don't agree with that. I just listed them right before we started the show, and I had my 5 as Purdue, Illinois, Northwestern, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. Now, was that before Michigan State lost tonight?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
these are all numbers from this morning.
Okay, so yeah, I think that Michigan State would be my 6th team at this moment, and Northwestern would be my 5th team at this moment. So I don't agree with that per se, but I also think that I agree with 5 right now at this very moment. Like, gun to my head, I agree with 5, but Northwestern is the 5th and Michigan State is out, in my opinion. And if it is going to be 6, then Michigan State is the 6th team. And honestly, I've said this for a few weeks now. I don't fully think that they deserve it, but I just know that they're going to get it based on the history of their program, and Tom Izzo always gets the nod. They're playing Purdue next, by the way, and then they only have 2 more games, and one of them is on the road still. I'm not super convinced they're going to beat Indiana on the road, and they also still play Northwestern, so that Northwestern game is going to be big. Sandwiched in between Purdue and who did I just say? Indiana. So that'll be a big game, I think, with both those teams kind of, I guess, on the bubble. But I feel like Northwestern's done more this year. Am I crazy to say that? They beat Purdue.
Yeah, no, I think that we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. I think that Chicago State loss really hurt Northwestern, is bringing their net rating down. Northwestern, their biggest problem is their net rating and their KenPom are rather low, just because they have had. So when Northwestern loses, they typically do not win in very good fashion, or they typically lose in bad fashion. They lost to Chicago State, which was bad. The Mississippi State loss earlier in the season didn't look as good, but they are technically a quad 1 now. But they lost to Illinois 96-66. I mean, there's not very many like 1-score games in here. Rutgers was a 1-score game that was 3 points there. So, but that's the part that net does that I don't really agree with, is how much emphasis they put into margin of victory. And so net is only one of them. So we'll see what they think of the other ones. But I know like Michigan State is the team that has like a super high net, KenPom, all those things, even though they've been losing. And then Northwestern, they're really low, even though they do have a similar record in that they've been winning about the same too. So it's an interesting thing. I think Michigan State will probably end up getting in. I don't think they deserve it. I think that they should probably not be in, but at the end of the day, they're going to be on the bubble. And I think when the committee looks at Michigan State, they're going to see Tom Izzo and say, we have to put them in, right?
Is it called a committee? Are we going to do
whatever
this
they are
college football playoff thing again?
I don't know. Whatever they are. Seems like a committee.
Are they going to leave Northwestern out because one of their best players is hurt, like the college football playoff committee did to Florida State? Is that what we're going to be dealing with right now? Also, I love Dave's comment right here. I've been trying to read some of these comments throughout the show, but he said, you're probably going to pull it up, but he said the problem with Northwestern is everyone thinks they're Northwestern. It's Northwestern, so they can't be that good. And that's totally true. Like, everyone just sees that name. If you just blindly, like, said, all right, who deserves to be in? Is it Northwestern or is it Michigan State? Everyone's like, oh my God, Tom Izzo, Michigan State, we got to put them in. Like, but I mean, Northwestern's been better than them most of the season, right? So I hate that. I hate that brand recognition, like, kind of gives some teams the nod over another team. I think that Northwestern totally deserves it. I want to see, maybe I'm being selfish, I would rather see Boo Buie in the NCAA tournament than watch AJ Hogar like try to drag a team up and down the court and brick threes at the end of games against teams that they should be beating. That's just me personally. I'm sorry. I like Matthew Nicholson. I think he's a decent center. I don't want to see Xavier Booker in the NCAA tournament playing 3 minutes. Sorry, I don't want to see that. I like Northwestern better, and I'm sorry. I think they deserve it, and I hope that they get in over Michigan State if that's what it comes down to. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. I don't think it's going to like be one or the other, but I would much rather see Northwestern in for sure.
Yeah. Just put Northwestern in a playing game because I can almost guarantee you that Northwestern is going to be able to have one of those runs where they're in the playing game and they get to like the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 or something like that. Now, could they lose in the first game in the playing game? Maybe that could also happen. However, I love this Northwestern team, even without Ty Berry. I think there is such a spark to this team, and they're able to. I don't know the best word for it, but they're able to make plays when it means something the most. There is something that they do about playing up to the team that they're playing. Look at what they've done against Purdue and other teams this season. Like I really, really like Northwestern. I want to see them in. I don't know if I have every like stat to go with it, but part of me is just like, if you watch this Northwestern team, this is a team that's going to do something special in the tournament. And I want Boo Buie to get some recognition nationally. Yes, he's gotten like awards and stuff like that. But I look at some of these guys, and if Boo Buie makes it in the tournament and goes on a run, everybody in the nation will know his name, and he'll be on every TikTok and everything like that. He's going to be super popular.
So who said that they're? Because I'm actually kind of concerned about this now because I thought Northwestern was a lock. Is this the CBB analytics like net rankings are saying that Northwestern is not in as of this morning? Then right?
Hold on, we got to address Michael Hogg here because Michael's helping me out. JR, I'm going to start teaming people up for not liking and subscribing to the channel. 26 in the stream and only 2 is unacceptable. I completely agree, Michael. Yes, please do like and subscribe, everybody. We don't pander for those often, but if you are so inclined to make one extra click in your life, we would appreciate that. All right, Kent, what did you ask again? I'm sorry.
I would say it's so you're saying from CBB analytics, like their net rankings or the net rankings is saying that Northwestern's out at this moment then? Because now I'm getting concerned.
Yeah, the net doesn't come from CBB analytics. The net is,
no, I know. I'm just saying like that's where you got that from though.
Yeah, it's from net rankings.
The projection. I'm sorry. Let me be more clear. The projection of 5 came from CBB or from the net rankings?
From the net rankings.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way that the net rankings do it is it's like a certain benchmark. I forget exactly what the number is, but there's a certain benchmark that like typically, I think it's 45 actually. Typically most teams, or no, 35. No, it's 45 because Nebraska is 41. Typically, most teams who are 45 or higher get into the tournament. I think there's been like every year there's like 1 or 2 who are the top 45 that don't make it because most of those 45 either get an auto bid or win their conference tournament. And so there's always like 1 or 2 in the top 45 that don't get it, and then like 1 or 2 outside of the top 45 that do get it. Right now, Northwestern sits at 53. So unless Northwestern can make some kind of run to get into the top 45, they are not going to be projected by the net rankings to get into the tournament. But again, like I said, the net rankings also don't like Northwestern because when they've lost pretty bad this year. And some of their losses, like Chicago State, have not been favorable for the net rankings.
I don't hate the net rankings, and I do think that margin of victory should play some factor in it. But when we're comparing them to Michigan State, I mean, they're 10-6 in the conference. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, I think that they're like, technically they're in 3rd place in the conference, 4th place right now. They're a double bye Big Ten team, and we're going to have to like cape for them to get into the big dance. I just don't understand that. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I thought they were a lock. So I'm hoping that
they have more quad 1 wins than Michigan State too. That's the crazy thing. Michigan State only has 3 quad 1 wins this season, only 3. So like, I think Ohio State has 3. Rutgers has 3. I think Maryland used to have 3, but I think they dropped 1. So they're at 2 now or something like that. But like, there are teams in the bottom. Michigan has 3. I just remember that. Michigan has 3. So like, there are teams that are at the bottom of the conference that have just as many quad 1 wins as Michigan State. But Michigan State gets the recognition because they played 11 quad 1 games instead of, 8 or 9, like most other teams.
Interesting. If Northwestern doesn't make the tournament, I will be boycotting one NCAA tournament game. That's it. There's gonna be one that I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna pick out a team and say that's where Northwestern should be, and I'm not gonna watch that one game. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch the rest of them.
I totally agree with Philip here. This has kind of been a hot take that's been going around, but the Big 12 cooked the books for their net rankings. Other than Kansas, most of them didn't play a very tough non-conference. I totally agree with the new 4 teams that came into the Big 12. I don't think the Big 12 is nearly as good of a conference this year as they were last year. Obviously, Houston was a fantastic addition. However, UCF and Cincinnati, those teams dropped the conference down, and you're not playing the top tier teams week in and week out like you were last year for the Big 12. So they're also hurting the net rankings a little bit with the perception of it just because of the way it is. At the end of the day, this is the hard part, is like no numbers are going to completely accurately tell you who should be in the tournament and who isn't. That's why I'm glad we have numbers to help, but I'm hoping the committee or whoever it is that chooses the NCAA tournament will realize that that these numbers are helpful, but they're not the end all be all, and that we'll have 6 teams in the tournament and Northwestern will get in. Heck, just put Minnesota in. I don't care. They have one quad 1 win, but I don't care. Put them in.
Well, the crazy thing is Rutgers is probably going to win the Big Ten tournament. So that's going to be 7 at that point.
There we go. Yeah.
So we'll be fine. We'll be right back up to 7.
Or Michigan.
No problem.
Michigan.
Or Michigan. Yeah. Michigan for sure.
That would really throw everything off. So
they're definitely not winning a singular game in that tournament. No. There's no shot.
No, they're not. Thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.